Now you feel the solid beat, your beat in your head. Space just like your back, from a fist from the leg. Dead rise from the grave, and the scream while you can. So breathe it, you wanna be scared. Breathe it, breathe it, breathe it, breathe it. For it though it's bleed, but deep beat it. You feeling a haunted, a chill in the night. Murmurs of a loss, soul's gonna fry. Breathe it, breathe it, breathe it, breathe it. Darkness falls, but dead upright. Eat the stairs with hollow lights. Fifth the night, the shadows creep. No one safe, not even sleep. Whispers echo through the tomb. Shadows fade, dispelling gloom. But the light breaks through the grave. Jesus has come the world to see. Christ is King. Christ is King.
And I hope we are live. By the grace of God, I will wait to hear from you all. Y'all let me know if y'all are able to hear me. My audio on? I hope my audio is on. Should be on. In the meantime, I will serenade you. Oh, man. Y'all confirmed that the audio is good, so I won't be giving you all a serenading tune for the time being. Good afternoon, good morning. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are. If you're in America, you're in the evening right now. If you're in Australia, I don't know, morning? I don't know. You're up really late at night. Wherever you all are, God bless you. I am thrilled, and I'm pumped to be with you guys. I cannot wait to be with you all, to dive into a topic that I have never done a show on here in my channel before. I have never dedicated a whole show to the veneration of relics, and I am beyond thrilled and pumped to do that. So I spent a lot of time last night looking at all of the famous texts, looking at the early fathers on relics, doing a lot of research. In fact, I've got my, close that, I had my Bible stuff open. Let me close that. Give me one moment, guys. But I'm happy to be with you all. I will do what I do all the time. In fact, let me put the timer. We'll go for an hour. And then after the hour, I will open it up. 1 hour. And then I'll open it up for people to join back here. But before we open it up back here, we will lay out the apostolic case for veneration of relics. What do we mean by venerating relics? Indeed, what is meant, that is what we're going to look at. We're going to look at what veneration of relics exactly is. What does the church teach? And where do we find it in the Bible? And where do we find it in the early church? That is going to be a whole lot of fun that we're going to dive into that. Before we even dive in, guys, you all are incredible, phenomenal, mythical. God bless you for your support, my friend. Thrilled and pumped for tonight's topic. God bless you all. I can't wait to have you up here to dialogue and talk about. You're going to talk about something incredible you did today at Mass, right? You're going to talk about making holy relics. That is going to be a very fun talk. I can't wait to have you up here, brother, and to dialogue with you. And of course, when I open it up, I'm going to open it up to anyone. If you want to come back here, I don't care who you are. We'll open it up to anyone and everyone. So if you want to come back here and you want to debate with me, and you say, well, you know what, I don't agree with the veneration of relics. I don't agree with that concept. Yeah, you know, it's heretical or whatever. If you're Protestant, you don't agree. You're more than welcome to come back here when we go live. In fact, I would urge you to do so when we go live. Actually, when I open it up to everybody joining. So, yeah, if you have that on your mind and you do want to join in later, we'd love to have you back here. So I will open it up again. Remember, in a moment, not yet, in a moment, it will get opened up. I want to give a shout out to Mythical. Shout out to AB, goated moderator and member. So is Mythical. You guys are amazing, AB. Thank you for your incredible support. Now, I want to highlight that AB and the brother Jimmy were both instrumental in us putting together a very important study that we put together we put it together recently. It was not long ago, and it was one that I considered to have been very important, very instrumental. So glad that they were able to to help us out with that, to really inspire us with that. So I won't say much more. If they desire to say more on that, they definitely can do so. But with that in mind, I'm trying to upload my, give me one moment, guys and gals. I'm trying to upload my thing. Let me see. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can upload this. Give me one moment, guys. There we go. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Joey. Joey, God bless you for your incredible support, brother. I do want to highlight who got gifted memberships before they vanish like they did on me yesterday. Ivan Mora, Craig JFW, and then we've got Alex Tech. We've got, oh, look at that, Prometheus. And we've got Sips with Sarah. Sips with Sarah. Every now and then I do see the brother show up. And I'll be giving I found out that he will be one of the brothers there that I will. I just barely saw. I had no idea what image you had there, man. It's always something new, man. Look at that. Is that is that kind of like the HBO version of me asking people to join? Is that like the HBO version? My goodness, man. You guys are wild, man. You guys are wild, man. What can I say, man? What can I say, man? I just barely noticed it. What a hater, man. What a hater. I barely noticed it. And, it's all the time when I'll click. From now on, I've got to realize it's going to be something. There'll be some kind of humor peppered in there. There will always be some kind of humor peppered in there. All the time, guys. I love Joey. God bless you, brother. I love you, my friend. Let me see if I can get this going. One moment. I have some more stuff. All right. Can we get this going? Can we get this going? Come on. Can we get this going? There we go. All right. I got another file done. Praise God. Okay. Great. All right, let's dive in. Let's dive in, guys. And before we even dive in, before we even begin to read any of the Old Testament stuff, what do we mean by veneration of relics? So what are relics to begin with before we even begin looking at the biblical case for it? Well, they are the bodily remains of a holy saint or a martyr. And indeed, when I use the term saint or martyr, I mean that they go hand in hand. Because if somebody is within the church, they are within the bounds of Holy Mother Church, and they die as a martyr, they indeed are a saint. So it goes hand in hand. So they are the bodily remains of a saint. And the church, I was speaking about this just yesterday with the brother Mythical. There are 3 classes of relics. And if you have any of them, if you have a first class one, amazing. If you got a second one, great. You've got third class, amazing. Any kind of class of relics are great. Now, what is a first class relic? It is a physical body part or a part of a saint. In other words, let's say you have the actual blood or bones or hair, some kind of a physical body part of a particular saint. That would be listed as a first class relic. What about a second class? That is an object you may have, like this. Just an example. This is a pizza card. Not for me, guys. You're probably thinking, man, William, you've been living at the buffet. No, when I take my daughter to play games. Pretend this is an object. This is pretend it's an object. A second class relic would be an object that is personally used by that particular saint. Let's say that this card would have been used by Saint Padre Pio, who, by the grace of God, we're going to be talking about him later on there. That would be a second-class relic, a belonging of theirs, clothing, a rosary, a kind of book, or something along those lines. What about a third-class relic, which are also incredibly amazing? Those are items that are touched. Remember, a third-class relic are also amazing. Those are items that are touched to a first or to a second-class relic. And I, as far as I understand, the incredible and the phenomenal brother, Mythical Elliptic, made a bunch of third-class relics. And the guy's great. He's one of our most magnificent, incredible supporters of ministry. The guy's a great moderator, a great member here. Just does a great job moderating. And he's got a phenomenal voice, man. You guys should hear his voice. It's wild, man. That guy, I mean, if anybody has an amazing radio voice, it's that guy. That guy's phenomenal. But we'll talk about that later. By the grace of God, we'll be able to bring him up later. But we're talking about, I was going to say we're talking about memberships because I saw the post from Joey. I want to give Joey another shout out. The guy's incredible. I love Joey. And you guys are probably going to think I'm biased, but I love Joey because Joey lifts weights too, man. So, I mean, I'm biased, man. I'm biased, guys. But I love all you guys. So when we talk about veneration, we talk about duluo, dulia, and very clearly differs from latruo, from latria. Worship, as you know, is given to God and God alone. Veneration is honor given to the saints. Why? Because of the wonderful and beautiful things that God has done in them. Number one, that is first and foremost, the wonderful and the amazing things that God has done in them. Because of those incredible things that God has done in the saints, for them in their lives, we are able to honor them. We are able to give them great veneration. Okay. Okay, one moment. Great. Okay, I got that converted now. So one of the particular things that is important to remember when we talk about veneration of relics is this is particularly dealt with at the Second Council of Nicaea. But well before that, the early church fathers were venerating relics. Well before that, they were doing this. And one of my favorite examples of that, and by the way, audience, if y'all are wondering, when will you be able to come up and join me back here? I'll put the link in 50 minutes when my timer goes off, and I'll let you guys come back here. Anyone interested in debating this, that don't agree with me, I'm going to open the floor up to you. Or anyone that has anything on their mind, any questions, we'll open it up to you as well. So one of my favorite passages can be found right here in 2 Kings 13, 20 to 21, where we read, Elisha died and was buried. Some men were burying a man when suddenly they saw a band of raiders. So they threw the man's body into Elisha's tomb. When the body touched Elisha's bones, the man came to life and stood up on his feet. Now, without even going into the Greek or into the Hebrew, the verb there is a powerful one for him literally reviving from death. Now, why is that? Why does he revive from the dead? Because God's grace has operated through the physical contact with his relics. He is a prophet through the physical contact with the prophet's relics. God's grace has operated. That miracle is a divine miracle. It is mediated through actual holy matter. That is why we venerate the bones of the holy ones. That is why we honor, we venerate, and we treasure the bones of the Lord's saints. That is why we do that. And here you have a very, very important biblical event here. Now, what is the context? I always like looking at the context as well. Elisha was God's prophet. And we know that he had received a double portion of Elijah's spirit. We know that in 2 Kings. Even after his death, the holiness of his body is there. He remains what we would call a vessel of divine grace. I am reminded as well of the holy veneration given to the blood of, is it St. Januarius? It is, right? Here in 2 Kings, a dead man revives. How? Upon touching Elisha's bones. But if you think any of this is done apart from the grace of God, you don't know what you're talking about then. What does this do, faithful? This shows you that God's power can and does continue to operate. How? Through the bodies of his holy ones. And I love that. It is incredibly beautiful. What a powerful imagery we have there. Happy feast of Saint Carlo Acutis, the 12th of October. Also the feast of Our Lady of the Pillar and Our Lady of Aparecida, patroness of Brazil. Frank, you are a goated member. Thank you for that, brother. Now, Frank, where on earth are you? You're in the future, man. Future man. Frank from the future, still the 11th over here, man. God bless you, Frank. I love you, my man. It is the future where Frank is. It's the 12th already. We will be remembering that tomorrow. In fact, when I'll probably do an AMA tomorrow, Frank. When I open the AMA, I'll be talking about the great blessed Carlo Acutis. In fact, I'm going to be doing it for you, brother, because you brought him up. Let me tell you what I'm going to do tomorrow, Frank. Tomorrow, when we open up the AMA, before we open up the floor for people to join, I want to talk about the great blessed Carlo Acutis. Forgive me. I want to talk about the great Saint Carlos Acutis. And then we're going to talk about how he heavily relied on a lot of Eucharistic miracles cataloged by the great Lanfranc. A lot of people don't know that. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. Then we'll be talking about Our Lady of the Pillar and Our Lady of Aparecida. I'll be doing that for you, my friend. That'll be a lot of fun tomorrow. A lot of fun. God bless you, my friend. Matt and Shannon, what is your advice and chat's advice on committing a Catholic social media channel completely to God and removing selfish desires to the extent possible? I think it's a great idea. I really do. I find that to be a great idea. What do you all, audience, think? I think it's a very good idea. Yeah, I love it. The land of milk and honey, Italy. Cool deal, man. I respect that. One day I'll be visiting. I completely respect that, man. 100% respect that. God bless you, my friend. I respect that a lot. Let's see. All righty, what do we do there? Okay, press the wrong button. Sorry, guys. I had pressed the wrong button. Land of milk and honey at school. Brazil. How y'all doing tonight? Y'all having a good evening? Are y'all having a good evening, a good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you all are tuning in? I am very often blown away by our community. Number one, I've said it many times over, and you guys know it. I repeat it over and over. We're able to do what we do here at Patristic Pillars, producing the material we do, writing the material we do, debating, traveling, and everything we do because of your support. This is the greatest community. And I know Sam's probably cringing and saying, what do you mean mine is the greatest? Guy, we have the very same community. I mean, we have the same community, which is a beautiful thing. And I love seeing it. I truly do. May the Lord preserve me and Sam. May we finish the race. And you guys are phenomenal. I cannot say it enough. We got a great community. Not only that, we love each other here in this community. We truly do care about one another. We pray for one another. And that is something that is just powerful, man. The fact that I see you guys care for one another as well is just amazing, man. Incredible and amazing, man. I mean, come on up. I'm ready. I mean, you're only digging yourself into a deeper hole because we were going to order a plate of tacos, 4 for you, 4 for me. I was going to take 3 of yours and bite the 4th one. Now I'm going to take all of them. I'm going to take them all now. I'm going to take all of them now. Yeah, Sam Gary, Sam David. How many Sams you talking about, man? I'm going to do it, Abel. Don't worry, man. I'm going to do it. God bless you guys. Ralph the man. God bless you, Ralph. What's up, Brother William? Question. Will you be going over Our Lady of Champions? Yes. Yes, I did. I will. Yep. I definitely will. That is something that I definitely, I'm excited to talk about. Give me 1 second, guys. Trying to, my thing closes all the time. Yes, I will. Tomorrow I'll talk about that a little bit, Ralph. Great, by the grace of God, I definitely will, brother. Ralph, how's the little one doing, brother? How's the family doing? And how's the little one doing? God bless you guys, man. You guys are incredible. Phenomenal, Ralph. God bless you, brother. So we continue diving in. Now, this is one of my favorite areas to look at. One of my favorite areas to look at. Here's another one. This is phenomenal, guys. Where here in the Gospel of St. Matthew chapter 14 and Luke 6:19, where we read, I love this one. This is, man, I am very often reminded of how the Bible is so supernatural with the beautiful things you find inside of it. Here you read that they begged him that they might only touch the fringe of his cloak, and as many as touched it were made whole. Here they desire to touch the garment of Christ. Now that refers to it's like the tassel or the shawl. Now the physical contact here is everything. Now, remember how the emphasis on matter being good is everything. God created matter, and matter is good. That is one thing. That's one thing that we've got to stop and think about, and we need to realize that. That is why here. That is why here it is through physical contact with a garment of Jesus. Now, here's another thing we have to be very clear about. And I want to emphasize this for you, the audience, because a lot of the times this tends to get forgotten. I want to emphasize this, guys. Please pay attention. Is there any power in any of these relics apart from God? Is there? And I know all of y'all are going to say no. There is no power in any of these relics, in any of these holy items, if you will, apart from God. There is none. And this is very important because right here, what you've got here, when they touch the garment of Jesus, this is a beautiful example here. When they touch the garment of Jesus here, you have what is viewed as a sacramental act of faith. A sacramental act of faith. Pay attention. Now, I want you to keep that in mind there because I'm going to break it down for you guys. By the way, you guys may be wondering, last night I went to bed incredibly late. I had a great time. I'm glad I went to bed that late. I went to bed very late because you guys voted for this. You guys wanted to do this show. You guys wanted me to do this show. So, yeah, I went to bed very late because I did a lot of research in the Greek words and spent a lot of time in the early fathers, as is always the case, as is always discouraging. Google.com it's never a very good resource. Unfortunately, a lot of the quotes that I found were fake, especially a lot of the early quotes were fake, so I had to scrap them. As time goes on, I will be adding to my catalog of church father quotes on relics. Unfortunately, a lot of them that I found were fake. I had to discard them. A lot of websites don't know better. So we'll be adding to the catalog of quotations on the early fathers as time goes by. But for the sake of clarity, for the sake of giving you information that is not erroneous, we'll look at some early fathers later that I know are legitimate quotes. So I do want to touch upon this. The fact that what you have here is it can be viewed as a sacramental act of faith. So I do want to talk about this. What do we mean by relics and what do we mean by sacramentals? Because this might come up later and I want you all to be educated. Remember, a relic is an object and it can be a body part of a saint. It can be a piece of clothing. It can be something they touched. That is a type of sacramental. They go hand in hand, and I want you all to understand that. They go hand in hand. And the church has always taught, and the church gets it from the Bible. It's directly in the Bible that God does use physical things, as we see right here, and we saw with Alicia's bones. What are they used as? They're used as instruments of grace. That is what they're used as. So yes, this here is a sacramental act of faith. Pay attention because the language can get confusing, but I'm going to do my very best to break it down in a very, very easy to understand manner. So remember, a relic, an object connected with a saint. It could be a body part. It could be clothing. Could be blood, like the blood of St. Januarius. Could be something they touched, like the incredible work that the great mythical has done for the faithful by making so many third-class relics. A relic is a type of sacramental. Keep that in mind. So what is done here can be viewed as a sacramental act of faith. You have it in Luke 8:44 as well. She came up behind him, touched the fringe of his garment, and immediately her flow of blood stopped. What is the context here, faithful? Guys, I love doing this show, man. I'm glad you all voted for this. Number one, her faith was very powerful in Jesus. If I only touch his garment, I will be made well. So God is going to reward her for being faithful. God will reward her for being faithful. Because remember, faith is much more than mere intellectual assent. She has faith, if I only touch his garment, I will be made well. And she reaches out and touches it. That is faithfulness in action. And it shows you that God rewards trusting how? Through a material object. Through a material object. Power has gone out from me. Showing you that grace is real, guys. Have you ever wondered and you ever doubted, well, is grace real? Oh, grace is very real. This is a powerful example of grace being real. Right here before your very eyes. And I love this one in particular. I love all of them, but this is a great one as well. Can the garment be looked at as a vehicle? Is the vehicle's not the correct word? As an object of divine power? Yes, of course. Of course. Grace can be conveyed through matter. We are not Gnostics, people. Grace can be conveyed through matter. Anytime anyone tells you that the way we honor and venerate the bones of the holy ones, guys, go to Germany, visit the beautiful churches in Europe where there are bones of martyrs everywhere. There are relics of martyrs everywhere. Germany has a ton of them. And I love visiting them every year that I visit Germany. Every year. Tons of them. With that in mind, there's a very clear reason why we honor, why we venerate, why we treasure those relics. Because God can and does convey grace through matter. Protestants lost this idea at the Reformation, guys. Last night I stayed up to like 2:30, nearly 3 a.m., reading and doing scholarly research in preparation for this show. And then today, throughout the whole day, I've been doing a ton of research. What a horror we encounter when we get to the Protestants, who they lack that faith. They don't believe in that kind of faith. They begin to mock the Catholic Church for the love of relics. Well, if they're going to mock the Catholic Church, they're going to mock the ancient Jews as well. And if they're going to mock the ancient Jews, they're going to mock the very first Christians as well. I'm being honest with you guys. Sometimes reading and hearing those reformers, you think that maybe some of them were demonized. I hate to be brutal about it, guys, but you think that maybe some of them were demonized. And I wouldn't doubt it. Fadi ex-Muslim, God bless you, brother. How you been, brother? I have not seen you in a minute, Fadi. I hope you're doing well, brother. God bless you, my friend. And shout out to the incredible brother, Red Pill Irenaeus. And I want to highlight who got gifted memberships. Jorge, Carlos Cabrera, Go and Live, Ferreira Twins, Stun, Joel, Adrian, Antonio, Solomon, Emmanuel, The Boz, Josh Ritchie. You guys give a shout out to the incredible and the phenomenal brother, Red Pill. God bless you, brother. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Prayed for you the other day. Pray for you very often, my friend. I hope you are doing well, brother. God bless you, my friend. Thank you for your incredible support, brother. Oh, they are, man. Oh, they are. Without a doubt, they're incredible, man. Dominique, how you doing, my friend? We're about to get to there. Where's that at? By the way, God bless you, Matt and Shannon. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Where is that at? Do you guys know where that is at? I wonder. I love that, man, when people actually give thank yous. I love that. Thank you for the gift of membership. Hey, brother, William, you are a rock of Catolicismo. God bless you, my friend. You're incredible, my friend. Very humbling, brother. Very humbling words. Mauro, I saw a testimony of an exorcist where the demon confessed that the relics remind him of those who were glorified. They cannot stand their presence. Now, if anybody would know about this, it'd be AB. AB, that guy is one of the very best on the planet when it comes to the spiritual. He's done a lot of amazing work. I don't know if he's around right now. He might have left. But that guy's goated when it comes to that. And yeah, from what I've read, Mauro, by the way, Mauro, thank you for your support, first off. Secondly, let me talk about this a little bit. There are examples from the great exorcists, all of the great exorcists, that'll say the same thing. Every time I've done shows with them, that is one of the things that I've asked over and over. And in fact, shows I've done with Father Lampert, I've done a number of them. Shows I've done with Father Merlino, who was the head exorcist for the movie, what's the name of that movie? And Nefarious. Shows I've done with the phenomenal, the incredible Father Carlos Martins. They will all tell you the very same thing. Demons cannot stand holy objects. They hate them. They drive them insane. As if you're burning their flesh, I've been told. As if they're burning in horror. As if you are burning, ripping flesh off of them. They react in a horrific manner. And you know what it reminds me of, Mauro? Guys, I hate to be honest here. You're maybe going to hear this, and, maybe this is going to sound a little bit crude. Forgive me, but they almost sound like some of the Protestants we get up here that can't even say Holy Mother Mary's name. They can't even utter her name. They can't even utter her name. Disgusting. Mythical, I will, by the grace of God, be bringing back that official exorcist for the movie Nefarious. Hopefully he'll be coming on my channel soon. By the grace of God, Franklin is one of them, Ralph. By the way, guys, we will open it up to people joining in a moment. 31 minutes, and I'll open it up. Ave Maria. May our Holy Mother Mary pray for all of us. ¿Qué onda contigo? ¿Qué onda contigo, hermano? So, yeah, Mauro, great point you bring up there, my friend. Great point you bring up there, guy. And I'm glad you do bring it up. I'm glad you do. I'm going to bring it on. I'm going to bring him on. I am. Now, there are a few other exorcists that I wanted to bring on, but I cannot reveal on the air why I cannot. But a few of them are not able to join, but I will be bringing great ones up. No, I don't know any Spanish, Caleb. I don't know any of it. Not a lick of it. Nope, no entiendo nada de español. Perdón, no entiendo ni un palabra de español. So we continue diving in, and one of my favorite ones, somebody in the audience alluded to it a moment ago. One of you all alluded to it. This is one of my favorite. I can't say my favorite because I'll feel like I'm blaspheming. The ones of Jesus are incredible, but I love this one here. God did extraordinary miracles through Paul. And by the way, audience, I want to pause for one moment. The miracle we have here of what he did through Paul, I bet you there are many more we simply don't have cataloged. Imagine all of the incredible miracles done throughout all those churches he would visit. Because if we read right here, we read that many incredible miracles were done through Paul. But we're only given a few examples. Isn't that incredible? The beauty of our ancient apostolic faith. We're only given a few examples. And this is great because if you look at, this is a great thing I love about St. Luke. If you actually look at the Greek and break it down, Luke is very clear to note that these are not ordinary. These are extraordinary miracles. He's really emphatic in the Greek that these are extraordinary miracles that have been done through Paul. But remember, anytime anyone tells you, well, what do you mean something powerful can be done through a relic? Well, God can do anything through the holy items of any of his holy ones. And here, these are powerful miracles. These are material objects. These are handkerchiefs, guys. And they carry sanctifying power. What do we mean by that? Well, let's read the text. Well, we're going to read it. God did extraordinary miracles to Paul, so that even handkerchiefs or aprons that had touched him were taken to the sick, and their illnesses were cured, and evil spirits left them. This is amazing, man. I mean, this is incredible. What else do you need? Now, what is the context? Well, number one, this is a clear New Testament, New Covenant continuation of that Old Testament pattern. Meaning God performs the miracles, but how does God do it? How is God performing the miracle? He does it through an object that is associated with his holy ones, with his saints. What does it remind you of? Can you tell me, faithful? What does it remind you of? It reminds me of Alicia's bones, right? That brought life to a dead body, a physically dead body. It brought life to a physically dead body. That is what I am reminded of. So here's St. Paul's garments. What do? They bring healing. They bring healing. That's incredible. No matter where you look, you have this positive and this powerful testimony in the Bible of the veneration of relics, the honor given to relics, because of the Lord's holy ones, precisely because of the Lord's holy ones. And then, of course, this continues in the biblical era. Well, because very clearly you may be wondering, William, why are we going to look at the early fathers? Because I want to show you that the early church fathers didn't invent relic veneration. What they did was they continued what early Judaism already showed, and they continued what the New Testament already showed. So the early church fathers are, remember, they are bishops, they are priests, they are deacons in all of these churches. They are incredible holy saints, shepherds over the churches. So we should continue to see the very same faith being lived out in all of these communities, and surely we do. Here in a work called The Martyrdom of Polycarp, which was not written by Polycarp, but very often when you look up the works of the Apostolic Fathers, the Martyrdom of Polycarp is always usually bound up in those works. So you may look up, or you may own a big, thick book on the writings of the Apostolic Fathers. Bound up with those writings will be the Martyrdom of Polycarp, which was written to recount how the great Polycarp died. His martyrdom, how he never shrunk in the face of adversity. He never shrunk away. He held to the ancient Catholic faith to the very end. In the Martyrdom of Polycarp, we read, accordingly, we afterwards took up his bones as being more precious than the most exquisite jewels. Look at that. I tell you one thing, a relic is more powerful than an exquisite jewel. That is why the incredible brother, our amazing moderator, Mythical, he went to such great lengths. And I tell you right now, guys, he went above and beyond to get those relics. Above and beyond, because he knew and he knows that they are greater than any kind of jewel. And right here, we're being told in the apostolic era, the bones of the incredible, may he pray for us today, the incredible martyr Polycarp are more precious than exquisite jewels and more purified than gold, and deposited them in a fitting place, meaning they went to get up the bones of the great Polycarp after he was killed, after he was brutally murdered. He never renounced Jesus, burned in a horrible manner. His flesh melted off in a disgusting manner, yet he never ever rejected Jesus, went to his death loving Jesus and being a Trinitarian. With that in mind, we remind you of the powerful words here. Look at this. More pure than gold, and deposited them in a fitting place. Why did they do that? To venerate him. To venerate him. Whither being gathered together as opportunity is allowed us, with joy and rejoicing, the Lord shall grant us to celebrate the anniversary of his martyrdom. By the way, guys, early on in early church history, they would celebrate the birthdays of the saints. Did you know that? They would celebrate the birthdays of the saints. And that was their martyrdom day. Why was that? Can anyone tell me in the chat? Do they know why? Why would they refer to their day of martyrdom as their birthday? Anybody know why? Does anyone know why they would do that? I wonder if anybody knows why. And if you don't, it's okay. It's no worry. But I wonder, we got over 200 people watching for a Saturday night. Great, guys. This is awesome. We got a great crowd. That's phenomenal. When a lot of you all could be out and, at the movies or whatever, guys. It's great that you guys are here. Great that we have such an incredible crowd, guys. I love you, Gary. Gary, can I hug you? Can I hug you, Gary? I love you, man. Goated member. Goated member. Yes, Abel, you are the goat. The goat, man. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. You guys are incredible. You guys are amazing. Yes. That is why they would refer to it as their birthday, because that is the day that they began their eternal life in heaven with God. And they would celebrate that every year. And right here it says, the Lord shall grant us to celebrate the anniversary of his martyrdom, both in memory of those who have already finished their course, and for the exercising and preparation of those yet to walk on their steps. Yet to walk on their steps. That's amazing. Now, I could be corrected. Remember last night, for the very first time, I did incredibly deep research. As far as I can tell, this is the earliest post-biblical witness to relic veneration in the church. And you may be thinking, William, is there any earlier? I mean, we're talking about the apostolic era. I mean, the fact that this is as early as it is beyond phenomenal. Just great. This is incredibly early. So we don't need any earlier. I want to be very clear for you guys. We don't need any earlier. We don't need any earlier. This is apostolic era. And here you see that the faithful saw the bones of the great Polycarp not as dead remains, not as just dead, useless remains, but as holy instruments of grace, holy instruments that can impart grace from God because of how holy he was, because of how incredibly holy he was. Jimmy, you are phenomenal, and you are on the right path without a doubt. So God uses Paul and objects as an intercessor, but doesn't that go against Protestant teachings? It does. It does, absolutely. It does. What happened here? Hold on. My Bible thing. What happened to my Bible? Hold on, guys. It does. And that was one of the things that Protestants protested to. Yeah. So why do, and Jimmy, thank you for the incredible support, brother. Why do Protestants reject relic veneration? We've got to ask. Well, they're going to claim, well, it's not in the Bible. And then they're going to even accuse us of idolatry. But very clearly, as we've shown over and over, far from being unbiblical, the Bible gives you clear precedent for it. Because remember, in 2 Kings 13, God's power is being shown through the holy remains of the great servant Elisha, through his bones. Then in the New Testament, you've got the hem of Christ's garment. But I know what they're going to say, Jimmy. Well, he's God, of course. Okay, well, if you're going to argue that way, what do you do with Elisha's bones? And what do you do with St. Paul's handkerchiefs? Where miracles are, we know that is the case all the time. Miracles come from God and God alone. But what is the medium? St. Paul's objects that he has touched. That's the definition of a relic, Jimmy. Anytime they try and argue with you, that is the definition of a relic. Paul's objects he's had contact with, he has touched. Miracles are being worked through them. Through them, miracles are being worked. So the Protestant argument falls apart. It doesn't just fall apart, in any kind of, barely. It falls apart miserably. It falls apart miserably. It falls apart in a miserable manner. Now, then they may pose this to you. They may pose this to you. They may say, okay, well, they work miracles, but that is through God. But where do we find out that these are holy? Well, very clearly, Elisha's bones are presented to you as a holy relic, because God is using his bones, showing that matter. Remember, the only way for Elisha's bones, the only way for God to be working that holiness is through that physical contact. That is how God chose to do it, showing you that matter has been made holy. That matter has been made holy. What is the matter? The matter is Elisha's bones. What if that isn't good enough? Well, point them to Paul's handkerchiefs, to his aprons, because it tells you right there that God is working the miracles. And we know that and recognize that. How, though? How? He chose to these items, meaning they are sacramentals. But if they're sacramentals, then what is a sacramental? It is an instrument of grace. This is why Protestantism falls apart miserably. And I thank you so much for asking that question, Jimmy. It is so important. This is why Protestantism miserably falls apart. And they tell you, well, Jimmy, that object doesn't have any inherent power in and of itself. We know that. God chooses to work through these because these people's items are viewed as sacred and pure because of God and God alone. The holiness is its association with that saint and God blessing it, God's blessing through it. You've got that right there in the handkerchiefs. God is acting through these items. They are sacramental instruments of grace. But you know what? Where else we've got? You know other examples we've got? We've also got the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant. But you know the problem for them, Jimmy? We're literally told that the Ark is consecrated. We're literally told that these items are consecrated. Meaning that they've been sanctified. Meaning that they've been sanctified. What does sanctification mean? It means set apart for God. Set apart for God. Very difficult for them to argue against. It's difficult for them to argue against any biblical principle. Messenger of St. Anthony sends a relic. Is that a book? I mean, excuse me, forgive me. Is that a magazine, Gary? Gary, my man, God bless you, brother. Is that a magazine? Thank you for that information. God bless you, brother. AB, what a phenomenal point. And I want to tell you thank you so much for your support, brother. God bless you, my friend. You rock, brother. I want to focus on what you said there. Yeah, Polycarp is very early, Gary. Relics are efficacious in exorcisms, especially relics of patron saints that are connected with the task of a specific demon. The task can be the one intended by God at their creation or inverse. Wow. Wow. Now, I want to highlight this, AB. By the way, AB, thank you for your amazing support. And I want to highlight this. What is the foundational principle? Faithful, if there's anything that you gather from today's session, if there's anything you gather, this is what I needed to gather. God is working through matter. But there's a starting point to that. What is that starting point? That is the incarnation. That is the incarnation. That God is able to make matter holy. He sanctifies matter by taking on the fleshly. By taking on the fleshly. This is just amazing if you stop and think about it. If you stop and think about the biblical principles, it's incredible because let me just point one thing out. I want to remind you what Acts 19 says and how truly, AB, it truly is a death blow to Protestantism on this particular argument. God did extraordinary miracles by the hands of Paul so that handkerchiefs or aprons that had touched his skin were carried to the sick, and their diseases left them, and the evil spirits came out of them. What are the handkerchiefs doing? They're driving out demons. They're driving the demons out. They are driving the demons out. But I think the one thing that people don't realize is evil spirits, they're being driven away through something a holy person touched. They are being driven away through something that a holy person touched. If there's any example of the holiness of relics, it's right there front and center. It is right there front and center. This isn't magic. This is God showing you what sacramentals are in a most powerful way. And the more and more that I think about it, the more and more I'm blown away. The more and more I'm blown away. Incredible. By the way, guys, you guys are phenomenal. Thank you for your incredible support. We're going to continue, and then we're going to go backstage in a moment, and then we'll look at a few more super chats in a bit. We've got 12 and a half minutes, and then we're going to open it up for the audience. What happened there? What am I doing, man? Why did I boneheadedly hit it twice? Athanasius, the life of Saint Anthony. By the way, keep your eyes peeled, guys. This is going to be coming out soon. A brand new and a fresh translation of the life of Saint Anthony, done by none other than my near and dear friend, my great friend, the greatest living Mariologist alive, the great Father Kappas, the Reverend Dr. Kappas. Brand new translation coming out soon from Ascension Press. Guys, keep your eyes peeled, man. You're going to want to get your fingers on that translation. It's going to be great. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So we continue diving in. But each of those who received the sheepskin of the blessed Anthony and the garment worn by him guards it as a precious treasure. For even to look on them is as it were to behold Anthony, and he who is clothed in them seems with joy to bear his admonitions. Wow. I mean, wow. Saint Basil the Great. If I am able to find any relics of martyrs, meaning that he was conscious and he was seeking out the relics of the martyrs, I pray that I may take part in your earnest endeavor, meaning that the early church were seeking out the relics of the holy ones. Indeed, that was a mark of ancient churches, to have relics of the holy ones there at an ancient church, and that is a mark of many of them all around Europe. And even in some places in America, in Mexico, and in other parts of Latin America, as I understand. Guys, over there, do we have anybody from Australia in the audience? Do we have any? I know we had the phenomenal brother Joey earlier. I don't know if he's around anymore. Do you guys have plenty of churches with relics in them? Forgive my ignorance. Somebody's saying name Tim Staples. You guys are something else, man. You guys are wild. Poor Tim. One of these days I'm going to bring him up and, you know, I'll tell him what's been going on all along. I've never done a show with Tim Staples in my life. I've done shows with pretty much everybody but Tim Staples. I got to do one with him. Are you in Australia, or is just you just saying that in general? I love that. It's great. You're very blessed. You're very blessed. We tried to get it set up. He won't do it. He will not do it. He won't debate me. We tried already. We tried. He won't do it. Sorry, he won't do it. I wish. I tried already. Now, in the great St. Athanasius, you have garments of holy men, yet again, in this case, St. Anthony, that are treasured not as magical items at all, but as we pointed out earlier, something you can call a sacramental. Now, Basil the Great, for Basil, relics were part of the Christian life. The manner in which you could commune with the martyrs, because he tells you right there, I pray that I may take part in your earnest endeavor. But we don't only have him, we have the great Saint Ambrose of Milan. I love this one. We have found this one thing in which we seem to excel those who have gone before us. That knowledge of the martyrs, which they lost, we have regained. The glorious relics are taken out of an ignoble burying place. The trophies are displayed under heaven. The tomb is wet with blood. The marks of the bloody triumph are present. The relics are found undisturbed in their order, the head separated from the body. Let these triumphant victims be brought to the place where Christ is a victim. What's he talking about? I think you all know he's talking about Holy Mass. I think you all already know. He's talking about Holy Mass. I'm certain you all know that. But he upon the altar who suffered for all, they beneath the altar, who were redeemed by his passion. I had destined this place for myself, for it is fitting that the priest should rest there, where he has been wont to offer. But I yield the right-hand portion to the sacred victims. That place was due to the martyrs. Let us then deposit the sacred relics and lay them up in a worthy resting place, and let us celebrate the whole day with faithful devotion. Wow. Guys and gals, brothers and sisters, I am blown away. I'm so happy you all voted on doing this show. What does the great St. Ambrose do? He's connecting the relics to the Eucharistic altar very clearly there. I want to ask you something. Everyone in the audience, does this sound like Ambrose of Milan was a Protestant at all? No. He is connecting the relics to the Eucharistic altar. What Protestant today could ever utter these words? What reformer tried to utter these words? The reformers hated relics. They hated them. And yet Ambrose of Milan says that relics were placed under the altars because the martyrs shared in the one sacrifice of Christ. Guys, who can tell me what is that echo? What is that echoing, guys? Who can tell me what is that echoing? Anybody know what it's echoing? What Ambrose of Milan is echoing? The book of Revelation. The book of Revelation. Look at this. What the great Saint Ambrose of Milan says is echoing Revelation 6:9. The souls of those slain for the word of God under the altar. We have an altar where we worship. We have a thusiasterion, an altar. Protestants don't have an altar. They have that podium. Don't believe that's an altar. An altar is where sacrifice is offered. They don't have an altar. They've got a podium where they tell you come up for the altar call. That is not an altar. That is a podium. An ugly one at that. St. Ambrose of Milan is not a Protestant. Doesn't sound like a Protestant at all. I love you, Ignatius. Where you been, man? I hadn't seen you in a minute. God bless you, brother. How you been doing, my phenomenal man? You knew it already. I beat you to the punch by like 10 seconds, but you knew it right away. We are incredibly blessed. Indeed, the Mass reflects heaven. And look at we've got it in the Bible, don't we, Ignatius? We've got it right there in the Bible. And the great St. Ambrose of Milan is echoing those words. Protestants, indeed, Lino Molina, they've got a stage. They have a stage, they have a podium. They don't have an altar, because an altar is where sacrifice is offered. Look up the biblical Greek word for altar, thusiasterion. Look it up. They don't have an altar because they don't have the holy sacrifice of the Mass. Number one, they don't believe it's a sacrifice because they have no clue as to Eucharistic theology. They don't know. Number two, they don't have a valid priesthood. Thank the good Lord, many of us here have been delivered from Protestantism. Thank the good Lord, I was delivered from Protestantism. Praise the Lord. Praise Jesus. Lino Molina, you are right. He's amazing. St. Anthony of the Desert holds a very special place in my heart. He was such a fearless man, a true Christian. I'm going to be having on, by the grace of God, I can't tell you who yet, but a great priest, an Eastern Catholic priest. And we're going to be talking about, spiritual warfare. We will be. We'll be doing a whole show on spiritual warfare in honor of the month that we're dealing with, because we know that there are people that try to subvert the beautiful month of Halloween, the beautiful holy evening before All Saints Day. So we'll be doing a lot of shows beginning next week. Guys, you all are in for a treat. You all are in for a lot of treats, and I'm thrilled and pumped to be with you guys. Guys, I love you guys a lot. Lino Molina, he's great, isn't he? He's amazing. The Bronze Serpent Cathal, number one, thank you for being a goated moderator and member. And I love these questions. The bronze serpent or the Ark of the Covenant, were they first-class relics? Is your question. Great question. Now remember, let's go back to what a first-class relic would be. Would be the body or a part of the body of the saint. So meaning it would be the physical remains of someone that was very holy, that is in glory with God now. Second-class relic is something that is owned or used by a saint during their lifetime. Third-class relic is any item that touches a first-class relic. So let's look at the bronze serpent now. So the way that we can look at the bronze serpent is as a sacramental sign. Let's look at Numbers 21. Let's look at Numbers 21. First time I'm in your show. What is your name? What is my name? Man, get out of here, man. You've been drinking that Robitussin, man. Pay attention to the show, man. Don't ask me what my name is, man. Come on, man. Pay attention to the show, man, and learn. The Lord said to Moses, make a fiery serpent and set it on a pole. My name is important. The teaching of Scripture is important. And everyone who is bitten, when he sees it, shall live. So Moses made a bronze serpent, and he set it on a pole. Now, here's the incredible thing, Cathal. The bronze serpent doesn't have any personal holiness, but it is a divine instrument that God does establish as a sacramental sign. So it is not a relic. Why isn't it a relic? Because remember, it doesn't fulfill any of the criteria of being a relic. It is a symbolic type, though. It is a powerfully holy symbolic type of Christ's passion. That's one thing that we need to look at. So not a first-class relic, but definitely a foreshadowing of sacramentals. We can say that. What about the Ark of the Covenant? The Ark of the Covenant would definitely have holy objects all over it. Man, we know that, right? The Ark of the Covenant made by God's command. Again, the Ark is not the body of a saint. It isn't the body of a saint at all. And it's not a remnant of any kind of a holy person. But here's the amazing thing. We can talk about that, the fulfillment of the Ark, but that in the New Testament. We'll get to that in another show. But the Ark, why was it consecrated? It was consecrated by God himself, and it is the holiest object in Israel, but it's not the body of a saint. It is a sacred vessel, though. It is without a doubt, but not technically a relic. Not technically a relic. Now, hold on. Oops. I need to open it up backstage in a moment. All right. Okay. So let's touch upon that. So the Ark himself, but hold on. We have got to then ask this. Are there any relics inside the Ark? Now, I'm glad that Cathal asked this question because it then opens up to then going deeper. Remember what a relic is. A relic, as we've laid out, we already talked about exactly what a relic would be and how these can be viewed as types and foreshadowings. What do we have inside the Ark? Let's examine the three items that we've got in the Ark. We've got the tablets of the law, the golden urn of manna, Aaron's rod that budded. So we can look at the tablets of the law as sacramentals. Why do we look at them as sacramentals? Because the tablets of the law were written by the finger of God, so those would be sacramentals, but not a personal relic. Now, then you've also got the manna. So not a relic. That's also not a relic. Then you've got Aaron's bud. It's Aaron's bud. Aaron's bud. What do you mean Aaron's bud? What do you mean Aaron's rod that budded? Aaron's rod that budded. So this is a very interesting one. And Cathal, man, you are amazing. Because now that I think about Aaron's rod that budded, that's a great one, man. Yeah, I mean, this would definitely be a relic here connected to the Ark because it used to be Aaron's personal staff, right? Cathal, man, why are you amazing, man? I love it, man. Now we're talking about relics in the ark. Man, you are incredible. You are enhancing all of our theological knowledge. That rod was Aaron's personal staff. He used it to do miracles in Egypt. So yeah, that's definitely going to be a relic there. It was a personal item belonging to a saint. It was used for miraculous acts. So yeah, it's a relic, man. So yeah, Aaron's rod is a relic. So then you could look at the ark as a kind of a reliquary. Reliquary. Man, Catholic, you made me go deep thinking there, man. You made me work there. God bless you, Catholic. That's amazing, man. I love you, man. That's incredible, man. I'd never thought about that. Now I want to write a whole article on the fact that the ark had a relic in it. You are incredible, Catholic. Keep it up, man. What a great, great question. That's a great question now. That really does. Yeah, Daniel. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. So he used it under divine command. Yeah, so you wouldn't call it a first-hand relic, but yeah, now that I think about it like that, it would be a second-hand relic because it was used by him. Yeah. And it did, he had healed as well. But here's the one thing, though. Yeah, I think that would fulfill it. That's a great one, man. That's a good point, man. Now the Catholic got me thinking, and I had to rethink that. So yeah, the bronze serpent would be viewed in that way as well. Yeah, we already mentioned the handkerchiefs. Let's look at the Apostolic Constitution. You guys are great, man. You guys are magnificent, man. We are all getting incredibly educated. We're all getting incredibly educated on relics. This is great, man. You guys are incredible. The Apostolic Constitutions. God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. For all live to him. Wherefore, of those that live with God, even their very relics are not without honor. For even Elisha the prophet, after he was fallen asleep, raised up a dead man who was slain by the pirates of Syria. For his body touched the bones of Elisha, and he arose and revived. Now this would not have happened unless the body of Elisha were holy. I love that, man. I love that, man. Isn't that incredible? That's just amazing. I love having you here, brother. God bless you, my friend. Yep. These are great. Maudo! In Elijah's bones, even the Jews were not even honoring Elijah. They were burying a guy, and some thieves show up, and they were scared, and they throw the body. Yeah, we went over that account. You know what I plan to do, God willing, and it does, of course. It takes a lot of time. Guys, when I do Patreon courses, I'm talking about it takes hundreds upon hundreds of hours to craft the courses. I'd love to do a course on relics one day, but I'd have to go through all the verses and look at all the scholarship, and that may take time, but I'd love to do that. And one day, that could be a course that I put together. Very well could be. By the way, guys and gals, debuting on Monday. Next week, we've got a lot of incredible stuff coming up. If you are a Patreon member, you are very well aware of the fact that we are going through the metaphysics of the Eucharist. And on Monday night, we're going to be looking at the great blessed Lanfranc. And again, very much keeping in with the topic. Tomorrow I'll be talking about the great Saint Carlos Acutis and how people don't even realize he relied heavily on blessed Lanfranc for cataloging a lot of the Eucharistic miracles that we know about. That's amazing. I can't wait to talk about that tomorrow. If God could, I think you meant to say use Elisha and Paul for relics, why couldn't he use other saints? Protestants put God in a box all the time while claiming he's all-powerful. They do. And unfortunately, their anger for the apostolic faith, by the way, we're going to pin the link already so we can allow people to come up. Their anger for the apostolic faith blinds them, brother. Let's get this pinned. And you guys can come back here. Anything you have on your mind, I'd love to dialogue with you. If you don't agree with William, okay. Come up here and tell me why you don't agree. If you agree with me, well, come up here, yeah. Matt and Shannon, God bless you for your support, my friend. Yeah, you're right. They really do put God in a box. They, unfortunately, I have to say, Matt and Shannon, they limit God. And we can clearly see that not only in what they say about relics, but even what they say about the Eucharist and a lot of other stuff, man. A lot of other stuff. It's a bummer. Moses' rod would be an example of God using an item to work through. Relics shouldn't even be a controversial issue. I agree. Yeah. You know what it is, Jimmy? I'm going to tell you what it is. It's Catholic. Too Catholic. And you're going to find that at the Reformation, the arguments the Reformers make are terrible. They're dumb. They're dumb. They're mad. A lot of the Reformers are mad that a lot of the churches around Europe, they have relics of the holy ones. They've got relics of the saints. Jimmy, it is a matter of it being too Catholic. Anytime they view it as too Catholic, they're going to protest. That is why they've got a mutilated Bible. That is why they've rejected the Marian dogmas. That is why their faith continues to mutate year after year after year after year. That is why even Franklin could tell you, Jimmy, when Franklin came up, that we are continually reforming, he said. You know what that means, right? You know what that means. That means that they are continually shedding apostolic doctrines. That whatever is not convenient for them, they will continue to abandon. Shockingly embarrassing. Embarrassing. No one wants to debate you on what? On what, Travis? I mean, you got the link pinned, man. What are you talking about? Travis, put the Robitussin down, man. Put the Robitussin down, Travis. Put it down, man. And nobody knows what you're talking about, man. The link is pinned. What are you trying to debate? Look at the topic. If you want to come back here and debate the topic, come back here and debate it. I don't know what you're talking about, Travis, but I can only imagine you're probably drunk out of your mind right now, man. Put the Robitussin down. Put the Robitussin down and go back into the basement, man. Back to the basement. Mythical, how you doing, brother?
What's going on, man?
How you been, brother?
Long day. Very long day.
Very busy, I imagine, man.
Over 6 hours of driving. Had a cross-country meet this morning with the kid on the other side of the state. And then the Padre Pio Relic Tour, obviously, then this afternoon. It's been a long day, but I really enjoyed what you presented here. I thank you so much for the research you did on this.
I'm glad you loved it, brother. I plan to keep doing more. I plan to keep going deeper and deeper, man.
I think it's a phenomenal subject, really. It's one that we don't talk about enough.
I love it. I don't see it talked about enough, and I can tell you right now, there's not a lot out there on the internet in terms of early church father stuff. I mean, there is stuff you can find, but unfortunately, there are a lot of gaps that do need to be filled. But I love talking about it, and I hope to do more and more research. I love it, man.
Yeah, so the Padre Pio Relic Tour today, one of the things that was awesome, you had the Knights of Columbus there assisting the entire time, so really didn't have to do a whole lot, and they were they had these there.
Oh man,
it contains a piece of a third-class relic here, and I believe it's a cloth from something of Padre Pio's. I don't remember specifically. There wasn't a whole lot of people there, but I did get all of the miraculous medals turned into third-class relics for everyone.
Amazing, man.
I have bags and bags of them here now. The guys looked at me like, what are you doing?
Oh, wow, man.
I had to say, this is for a online apologetics community family and stuff.
There you go, man. A family, that is the correct term. We are a family here, man. That is amazing, man. Do you have any idea how many you were able to make into relics?
150.
Oh, incredible, man. That's amazing, man. That's amazing,
it was.
Man.
I even had some people at my parish from the OCIA group asking, like, "Oh, can you pick me one up?" It's like, guys, don't worry. Everybody is getting one. I promise you that.
Wow, man.
And they had some other stuff there. I mean, I got my bracelet rosary turned into a 3rd class, and
I love it.
I almost did my rosary, and then I remembered I touched it to a piece of the True Cross when I was in Boston. So it was no, we're not doing that.
Yeah. Amazing.
And
amazing.
This rosary here that they had there was very beautiful.
Oh,
and
man.
I was just like,
That's
gotta have that.
Beautiful rosary, man. That's a beautiful
I'm gonna give it to my daughter. Actually, she broke 13 and a half minutes on her 2 miles today at 12 years old.
Wow. Oh, man, that's incredible, man.
I don't think I've ever ran that fast in my life.
Amazing, man. Now, I don't know if you've ever said it, but I wonder, is she going to be pretty tall like you?
She's already taller than most of the boys in her class. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
she's
awesome,
well
man.
on her way. That's why we've been working so hard at basketball for her, because it's going to be a matter of time.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's amazing, man. Take advantage of. She has that incredible blessing, man. Take advantage of that. That's awesome, man. That's great.
She's
man.
clumsy like I am, though. She just trips all over herself. And so we'll see. Okay. We'll see. I told you, just stand underneath the rim. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be perfectly fine, man. Yeah, you'll
be right at home.
Annihilate everyone. You'll annihilate everyone. That's great, man. That's awesome, brother.
I guess one thing that I would like to say is,
sure.
I feel kind of powerful having these relics around. It's such a reminder.
I would too, man.
It's incredible. Like, I'm gonna be putting them all over the house and stuff now, and it's just I tend to, as a lot of veterans do, especially as we get into the winter months here in the north. I suffer with PTSD, and
sure
it gets kind of dark around here, and it's just kind of gloomy. And this is kind of a nice thing to have going into that season to kind of remind me. And so any Protestants, anybody out there that's like, oh, you don't need relics, just it's like, well, they help me focus on the Lord a little bit more. So
100%. And why not? Why? I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. If they're present there in the Bible, and if in the early church they help people focus on God, I mean, I'm all for them. Clearly, that is a mark of the apostolic church.
I thought you laid out the case very well. I mean, there was a lot of stuff in there I had thought of, but then even some of it was like, man, I didn't know we had this much,
Yeah, there's a lot, man. In fact, there was so much that I had to, last night, I kind of said, okay, well, this is a case that I want to present. And then, of course, there's room for a lot more, because what I like to do is I like to build the case. And then what I always enjoy doing is I like to go through church history, and I like to find out who are the first people to oppose this, how were they rebuked, and what have you. And you find that in the early church, this was very common practice to venerate relics, to honor the bones of the holy people, to honor their relics. It's very present all throughout early church history. So my main concern was, okay, well, where do we encounter people that are chirping and have problems with this? Not shockingly, the very first real objections that we find, let's forget the Gnostics and all those. Commonly, the Gnostics are always going to object because they don't even believe matter is good. Matter is evil for them. They even hated the Eucharist. But really, the big chattering, the big objections come right around the time from Islam. That is why the Second Council of Nicaea has to affirm that relics are good. The Muslims had a big problem with us honoring and venerating relics. And then later on, of course, the Protestants jump on board with that. So it was a lot of fun doing research. Last night when you all voted for this show, I said, that's great, man. It's phenomenal. I love doing research. I mean, I love, this is what I do, brother. I love doing this.
Yeah, it was incredible. I was so glad it won the topic, because it was like, okay, now I have absolutely no excuses to make it there now,
Yeah, that was great, man. Yeah, that's phenomenal, man. And so that's just wonderful, wonderful, brother.
I will say, before I head out, because I'm exhausted, I'm going to try to make
sure. No, I can tell you're tired, brother. I can tell.
Yeah, it's been a long day. I'm not used to doing this much driving. I'll be fine if this is the last time we have to go to a meet on that side of the state,
Right, yep.
We'll see. But I'll try to limit the medals that we give out to just Patreon subscribers only then.
You're amazing, brother. And for people that are Patreon subscribers, we will get you some of those medals. Get in touch with me, reach out. We will get you some of those medals. We're going to make it happen, guys. I will make a post on Patreon by the grace of God tomorrow, and we'll make it happen. Brother, you're amazing, brother. Get some rest, brother. We'll be talking soon.
Thanks. Have a great one, man.
Brother. You have a great one, my friend. The incredible brother Mythical. That was what a wonderful thing he did there. Wonderful thing. Shout out to you, John. Week 2 of classes, we learned about the Adamic covenant. Very cool. What did you learn, man? I love that, brother. What did you learn? What else do we have here? You know, we get people that chirp and they run their mouths in the chat and they don't come back here. We get people that, yeah. Yeah. Abel, you're right, man. There they are, smooching it like they're mentally ill. I'm with you there, man. I'm with you there. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, I got to bring up the great brother Gary, man. I didn't realize we had the phenomenal brother Gary here. Let me bring him up. I don't know if he's present there because the camera. Oh, there we go, the camera. Gary, what's up, brother? How you doing, my man?
Camera's on. Thank you. All right. First, there's my St. Anthony's relic.
Let me just very briefly, I'm going to, for one moment, remove myself so you can show it large to the audience.
Oh,
I love that,
the
man.
writing's in reverse, I guess.
Wow. No. It appears well for us. It appears well.
That little piece of cloth down here, this is the actual relic.
Man, I love that, man.
And it's...
Where can we get one of those, man? Where?
Let's see if I can show it here. St. Anthony Messenger, our Messenger St. Anthony. It's like a monastery or something like that in Italy.
Okay.
And I don't know. Basically, he was a very good preacher. St. Anthony of Padua.
Sure.
He loved the kids and all that. And if you subscribe to the magazine, you're like 99% sure getting one of these.
I love it.
So if you want a relic, there you go. There you'll be your first relic.
That is amazing, man.
And the magazine's only $30 or $40. It's not too bad.
Not bad.
You get a calendar with it too.
Perfect. That's amazing, man. Yeah, that's incredible, man. That's great, guys. If you if you are Catholic or you're Orthodox, we love relics, man. We love them, man. You know, that's just amazing, man.
Yeah, it's.
Let me ask you this, Gary. Let me pick your brain. Do you have any other relics?
That's the only one I have right now.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
we're going to work on getting a Padre Pio one. We're going to work on getting a Padre Pio.
I don't know. You know how it is? Like there's tens of thousands of saints.
Okay.
And the one that I do not relate to is Saint Padre Pio.
Really? I love Padre Pio. Okay.
It creeps me out. So I stay with. I like Saint Thomas Aquinas. I like Saint Teresa of Avila, Saint John of the Cross, Saint Anthony the Great.
I never ever heard that before. Okay.
We all have our favorites, I guess.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's one of my favorites. I'll tell you when I grew close to Padre Pio. When I did that course on the Stigmata, I really grew a great and a deep devotion to Padre Pio. But I respect that. No problem.
No, I mean I'll probably watch that. I'm in there anyway, so I'll try and learn. He has great influence.
Oh yeah.
If you follow Hollywood, they made a movie on him.
They did. I heard some very mixed things there, and then I had a few priests that told me that it really didn't represent him well because of certain things. So I didn't watch it.
Hollywood.
Yeah, so I kind of avoided it, and especially having such a limited time, I try to maximize the time with stuff that I think is worth it. I had a lot of priests call me up and tell me, no, don't watch it. It isn't a good representation. So I just haven't seen it. Have you watched it? Do you recommend it?
No, but I heard the actor that did it, if I can think of his name, he was basically on the verge of suicide.
Yeah, I know.
And Bishop Barron did an interview with him. That is well worth watching.
Unfortunately, that actor is not a very good representation of the faith.
Oh, he may not be. I mean,
yeah. I know that he
was very new at it.
In fact, it's that Shia LaBeouf. He has. He was in Austin, Texas, right around the time when he was filming that movie, and that's near that. Actually, I have plenty of family there in Austin, and unfortunately, a few family members of mine approached him asking for a photo, and it's recorded on video. They just asked him for a photo, and he cursed them out.
Well, that's terrible.
It's just bad. Unfortunately, he cursed them out, told them to go F themselves for no reason. Seemed like he was intoxicated. Just not a good image.
Possible. I mean,
yeah.
He was very new to the Catholic Church.
Yeah, definitely got to pray for that guy. Definitely got to pray for him. But yeah, it was a bummer because the family members of mine were very excited. He had just done the Padre Pio movie, and it was a bummer. It really was a bummer.
What a shame.
Definitely shame. But hey, as with everyone, none of us are perfect. We got to pray for him. Definitely pray for him, because regardless of whether or not he did that, we hope that he comes to the fullness, and we hope that he repents and that he becomes a good example of the gospel. That's what we hope for.
Yeah, I'm going to put a little bit of the cynical side on here now for a second.
Sure.
They mentioned the wood of the cross.
Uh-huh.
There's about 5,000 trees that are part of the wood of the cross. There was a whole industry on this. So there is some counterfeit when it comes to relics.
Sure.
And there's whole towns and villages that were making money.
Yeah, so I think the one thing that's another aspect that I'm going to have to probably do a show on that in the future. St. Cyril of Jerusalem laments that.
Yeah.
In fact, at his time, I'm not sure anybody's aware of it. At his time, and it seems like we've got some. Give me one moment. We got some nasty people backstage. Let me just ban them 1 second. Guys, if you're coming back here just to be disgusting, I'll ban you instantly. Don't waste your time. So let me just say this. Yeah, at the time of St. Cyril of Jerusalem, he is lamenting it. He laments that at the time there were counterfeits and there were people that were abusing of relics by lying about certain relics. And he does bring that up, and that's something that I do hope to talk about. I think one thing that is a good mark is that and I know we've got a lot of great moderators. I think they're doing a great job of getting rid of these guys. That's a great mark. You can look at provenance. You can look at, are you looking at an old ancient church from Europe? Are you looking at a church that has a good paper trail of this particular relic? A lot of them do.
That's
and
awesome.
Then there are a lot of them that do, but then there are some that just don't. And the ones that don't, they're a little bit iffy, but a lot of them do. So I think that's another way of truly being able to tell whether or not the relic is a trustworthy one or not.
Yeah, I guess you have to really do your due diligence.
Avoid the ones on eBay. I tell you that, and I tell you, I don't want to say who, but I think you know who I'm talking about. A priest that is very famous, and he knows a lot about relics. I'm not going to say his name.
Mm-hmm.
He's given me the advice to tell people to avoid the relics being sold on eBay. He has told me that he's looked into it, and that a lot of those people on eBay have been busted, and that a lot of them are frauds. He has told me, and I think people might know who I'm talking about, but I don't want to mention his name.
I might be off here, but it's my understanding you're not allowed to charge for these things. I think it's an actual sin. So when you get a relic, you have to sort of get it through donation or something like that.
Right. I'm not aware that. I don't think St. Anthony or any of these. I definitely don't think they charge for any of them.
Oh, so, yeah, they definitely don't charge for this.
Yeah. It's forbidden. Yeah.
There's probably about 5 million of these.
Sure. Yeah.
But basically, it's a piece of cloth, and he was quite a preacher, so they basically have. I don't want to gross people out, but they rub it on his tongue.
Sure.
And then they cut it in little pieces, and then they send it out.
Yeah, it's condemned. It's condemned. Not, and I don't know where in the catechism, but I know in canon law that it's condemned. It's very much prohibited.
However, it's kind of nice to have.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's great to have. Man. I love
this is legit.
Huh?
I mean, and man, like I said, I would love to have something from St. Thomas. I believe Keith Nestor has something from St. Thomas Aquinas.
Well, really, man, I got to hit up Nestor. I got to tell him, hey, man. What's
up?
You
got to check him out. He's got about 7 or 8 of these. He's got like a whole lot of them.
In fact, I got to text him and say, Keith, what do you mean, man? Hook it up, man. Tell him hook it up.
He might be able to show. At least you'd have some visuals.
Sure.
Definitely. And up the road here in Soniaville. There's quite a few. I think there's probably more than 10 or 12 of them.
Wow.
So we definitely have some relics at our local church here.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. That's incredible, brother.
Definitely St. Vincent de Paul.
Oh, yeah. Great saint. Another great.
And a little piece of bone.
That's awesome. That's awesome, brother. Anything else in your mind, my man?
No, that's good. That's good for now.
Hey, Gary, it's always great talking to you.
I just wanted to let people know, Messenger of St. Anthony, if you want to get one of these.
Thank you so much for that, brother. God bless you, my friend.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Hey, you take care, brother. Guys, for guys wondering, what am I drinking now? You guys are probably going to think I'm a really sick puppy. And hey, this is how I drink my coffee, guys. That's how I drink it. So hold on, let me see if I can show you guys. This is how I drink my coffee. 11 cream and 5 Splenda. I'm not ashamed, man. 11 creams and 5 Splenda. Not ashamed at all, man. That is how a real man drinks coffee, haters. That is how a real man, haters. You guys are hating immediately, man. Shout out to the goated moderator and member Rosarium, who now has the rare Byzantine SCOTUS icon. I want to give a shout out to him, and I want to see who got gifted memberships. Complete Sensei, J. Rake, Damian Foster, Context, Tasty Dumpling, Catholic Rock, Omad Ramos, Rabreet, Robert, and Jack Bunting. And I want to give a shout out to the brother Ralph Figueroa as well. God bless you, brother. Pray for me and my family, and I pray for you and your fellow viewers. Brother, we'll definitely be praying for you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. And I'm glad that you are here able to join us, brother. God bless you, my friend. I don't know. Were you ever blocked, brother? I think you had reached out to me. You thought you were blocked. Were you ever blocked? I hope you weren't, man. I hope you weren't. Sometimes we get to some of those trigger-happy moderators, man. I hope you weren't blocked. God bless you, brother. And thank you for your phenomenal support. I want to highlight who got gifted memberships. Jay Espinosa, the Catholic fam, Joel, Chris, and Cody got memberships. I hope were you banned after all or not? God bless you, brother. You got to get to the gym, man. You weren't banned. Okay. Good. I don't know why I thought that I don't know if you thought you were banned or not. Pray for God to have mercy on me. Pray that I can start going to the gym. You got to hit the gym, man. You got to, man. You'll feel incredible hitting the gym, smashing those weights. I know tomorrow is a big day for me. Tomorrow is an enormous day for me. Close grip bench. Never have been blocked. There's somebody else in. I don't know. I might have been somebody else in. I don't know. Maybe I got the name wrong. Don't watch the Hollywood Padre Pio film. It's very bad. If you want to see a movie in Padre Pio, watch Padre Pio, Miracle Man. It is available on YouTube. Truly inspiring film. Frank, is it available for free on YouTube? Is that available for free? My bad. I mentioned Alexander. Forgive me. Similar names, man. There you go, man. I'm a heretic. Yes, it's free. Alrighty. Cool deal. Who else do we have back here? Is that you, hater?
Obviously. Who else would it be?
I don't know. There, my poor cat there. Am I beating my cat up there in that photo?
You're torturing your cat, you know.
I am so glad.
I gotta remind people that, you know, you like to abuse your cat.
I didn't even know who she is right now. Don't even invoke her. I'm glad she's nowhere near me. Don't invoke her.
Don't be such a hater. Oh my goodness. Your poor cat has to put up with you every day.
You know, she's great. I'll tell you that. She's very good whenever she's asleep. I mean, if she's awake, she's a terror, man. She's a terror if she's awake.
That's why I put William's cat defender, you know? So
I'll beat her up after we're off here. I'll beat her up.
May the Lord punch you in the face if you do so.
What a hater. What do you have in your mind, hater?
All right, I have a lot on my mind, but obviously I need to find one that's related to the topic, which I did.
Good.
I don't know if you saw earlier. So I was wondering, do we have any relics of Saint Joseph or Mama Mary by chance?
Yes, we do. Yeah, and now remember that we would not have a relic of a bone or a body part of Mary because, of course, and this is very important. It's very important to realize that what is a bodily relic? So, what is a bodily relic? what is a first-class relic? It's a bodily relic. We don't have any of Mary because, as the early church knew very well, Mary was taken body and soul into heaven. So we don't have any first-class relics of Mary. Although we do have, second or third-class relics. At least they claim. Yeah, there are certain monks that claim to have, the girdle, the belt of Mary, or the veil of the Virgin. For what that's worth, I'm not going to comment on that if I believe that to be true or not. I think by the fact that I'm not commenting on that, I think you kind of get my idea. Some of our Syriac friends claim to have the girdle.
Oh, anyways.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'll withhold commentary from that. I just don't. I don't know. Now, relics of Joseph. I'm not aware of any that have been verified. Now, somebody can tell me in terms of the bodily. Now, I think this is why there are a lot of Catholic people. Well, not a lot, but there are. There is a group of Catholics that believe in the bodily assumption of Saint Joseph. Now, I think that's absolutely absurd, but and I know my Saint Joseph fans are probably going to come after me for that, but I think it's absolutely ludicrous. But with that being said, I think the fact that I'm not aware of any physical relics of its body that have been verified and that the church has verified. So I think that has led people into then believing in the pious belief that you can find in the late medieval era, that there are some great late medieval saints that believed he was taken bodily into heaven. And you're free to believe that. That's, I guess if you want to hold to that as like a kind of pious, tiny t tradition. But I'm not aware of any bodily relics of St. Joseph, and maybe somebody in the audience can correct me, and maybe they are aware of them. Let me look in the audience.
Okay.
I do believe this. Lino Molina, that I think is definitely verifiable. Yeah, I don't see anybody saying anything about any bodily relics of Joseph.
Interesting. And then another thing is, are we required to accept relics or believe in these relics, or can you live life without?
It depends what you mean. What do you mean? Kind of narrow it down. Are we required to believe? So hold on. Let me just briefly turn my camera off because I need to grab my my thing here. It depends what you mean. Do you mean, are we required to believe the clear biblical accounts of relics and how they are important and how they should be honored? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean, are we required to believe if, for instance, you are told that there are the bones of St. Joseph at your local parish? What do you mean? Narrow down. What do you mean?
I mean by the first one, the first explanation that you gave.
Yes, because it's biblical. So are we required to believe that relics that they exist, that they are holy objects of holy people? Yes, because that is biblical. Are you required to believe that every relic that you're told is a relic truly is a relic? No, you are not.
Interesting. So why are we required? I guess that's my. I'm not saying I'm refusing to believe
because
in it, but
it's part of divine revelation. If you believe the Bible
but is it like a dog? But is it like a certain dogma or doctrine or whatever?
Now you're getting confused on dogma. Dogma. Usually things are made dogma. The usual way is when something is challenged, it is made a dogma. So you're getting confused there. The church has definitely solemnly already defined at the Second Council of Nicaea, and that would be viewed as a solemn definition, akin to a dogmatic definition, although not separately from Nicaea, such as an Ineffabilis Deus and the Immaculate Conception. But at Second Nicaea, the church has already ruled that relics are real and they are worthy of being given honor and they are worthy of being given veneration. But even if we didn't have that from Second Nicaea, it's in divine revelation of the Bible. So why would you reject the idea that relics are real if it's a biblical teaching? It's divine revelation.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah,
does that make sense to you?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
So let me try and narrow it down. Let's say Uh, let's say you ask me, okay, William, are we required to believe that Paul's handkerchiefs really were holy and they healed and they were relics? I'll tell you yes, and then you ask me, well, has that been dogmatically defined? I tell you, it would not need to be dogmatically defined because it's in divine revelation, meaning divine revelation is sacred scripture, meaning it's right there in the Bible. The church would not need to define that because that's clearly laid out there in the Bible. You've got it there black and white, as clear as you know, as clear as can be, that Paul's handkerchiefs are viewed as holy. They do heal and they do things that are miraculous.
Okay. So that goes for any relic of any other saint?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Now, remember, if you encounter something that the church has not put her stamp of approval on, and you think it is a little bit iffy, you're not required to believe that. That's the important thing.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
That is why mythical is phenomenal. Went out of his way to actually go into in person firsthand make those relics. You know for a fact that they are verifiable. They truly are relics. If you have a doubt of something truly being a relic and the church has not put the stamp of approval on it, then you are very free to question that.
okay. Okay. I just don't, I guess, I don't know. I guess I'm still kind of struggling to understand, like,
What
I
are you
like
struggling to understand?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out how to word it. I guess I'm still trying to understand like what the purpose of these relics are. You know? Um,
So
yeah,
what are we told? What are we told the purpose is of them in the Bible?
that's what I'm asking. I'm not too sure.
So number one, any relic is going to give glory to God. That's the number one thing. They're meant to give glory to God. But the other thing is it shows you that God's power is working through these holy objects. Alicia's bones raise people to life. And then people are healed because they touched the garment of Christ. And then people are also healed and demons are cast out when they touch Paul's handkerchiefs. And so these are examples that God is using these physical signs, these physical items as instruments of his power. And that's the important message that we're supposed to extrapolate from it. And in a moment, we'll probably get some people that are going to give examples of how touching relics has maybe healed people in their lives. So the purpose of them is, remember, first and foremost, they're visible reminders that the holy saints, they are alive in Christ. They are alive. But the other thing as well is to show us that they are instruments of grace, meaning if Alicia's bones heal people, that's through God's will, but he's acting through a relic. And if people are touching the handkerchiefs of Paul and demons are being delivered from them, that's another example of the power of relics. So it is meant to show you that these are sacred signs that impart graces upon people. And they prepare us to receive even more grace.
Okay. Okay.
Does
Yeah,
that make sense? If you think about it, let me kind of hammer it home even more. Think about look at what we read here in Acts 19. This should really hammer it home. God worked greater miracles than usual through Paul, so that even handkerchiefs and aprons were brought from his body to the sick. Notice how here, what Luke is doing here is showing you something important. Luke's message is that God always does work miracles, but he's working even greater ones than usual. They're actually called extraordinary. How are they being worked? They're being worked through objects that were touched by a holy person. And they are healing people and they're drawing demons out. Showing you right there that relics are incredibly important. They're showing you that God does work. He can work his power and he can work his holiness through the saints. So relics are definitely very important.
okay.
And if you might be wondering, why? Why? Well, because God created matter and matter is good. And these relics are meant to glorify God. They're meant to honor his saints, to give strength, to strengthen the faith of you, of all of us, to show us that holiness really does transform a person. Because think about it, these are things that St. Paul touched. These are things that St. Paul taught. That then shows you that God can act through these things and can work miracles through these things, can utilize them as instruments. That is the whole message that the Bible's trying to convey.
Okay. Okay.
If there's anything confusing and you need me to go deeper, don't hesitate. Don't ever hesitate.
No, I mean, I think, like, I'm like, don't get me wrong, like, I am not against it. I'm not like anything like that. I don't want anybody to think that, but I guess I've never, again, I've never been explained any of this kind of stuff before, so this is all kind of like, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's, I wouldn't say it's wrong for me, or it does feel right or wrong. Like, for me, because I've never had this kind of explanation before. That's why for me, I'm just like, well, what the heck even is this?
Now here's another thing.
Like I know there's people that like get excited about like, oh, relics of this and that, but
So here's the one thing you've always got to remember. It is always because of God. What has he done for his holy ones? And right here, I put the example on the screen for you that, number one, here is the context here. There's a man that's been buried, and as soon as the man touches the bones of Elisha, he comes to life. But the important message is that it's God performing the miracle. But how is he doing it? It's touching the bones of Elisha. So Elisha, we know, was a very holy man. He was a prophet. So right there, God shows you, as we read in the martyrdom of Polycarp, that the items of a holy man are pure. They carry great value. They're pure. That's why they're venerated. That's why people go to great pains to give them honor and to protect them, because God can continue to work through the bodies, in this particular point, to the bones of Elisha. Why is that? The example is in the Bible, Ari. In the Bible, in 2 Kings, we read that we read that Elisha succeeded Elijah, and he received a double portion of Elijah's spirit. And during his life, he was very holy, performing a lot of miracles. He did a lot of miracles. He even raised a boy. He even cleansed people of leprosy. He even purified poisoned food. Over and over, we have examples of him being very holy. Think of the parallel being Padre Pio or any other holy person. If Elisha was incredibly holy, all his life was a life of walking faithfully with the Lord. He was incredibly holy. At the end of his life, that holiness has remained. He is a fully holy person, and he's a vessel that God is using. How is God doing it? God is doing it through the holiness of the bones of Elisha. We know that because if you look right there, when the person touches the bones, he begins to live again. Now, there's a very rare verb, and I spent all night long doing research. You know that because I always frequently tell you I'm up to insane hours doing research. There's a rare verb used here. I'm not sure about it in the Greek. I know in the Hebrew it is. I want to do a little bit more digging. But the verb used here, and I once I look in the Greek Septuagint, I probably do an article. But the verb used here for to live again in the Hebrew is used over and over to talk about divine resurrection power. So that's showing you that God is able to give life-giving power through the relics of his holy ones. Here in this case, it's Elisha. This is a biblical precedent right here. So that's laid out for you in the Old Testament. And we see this happening in the real life to where holy objects can heal people in our time, Ari. Well, then we should be able to see this through early church history, and we do. We can see this through early church history. And why is it? Because God glorifies his holy ones. That is why. And we see that example in the Old Testament, and then we see that example working in the New Testament as well.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, every single relic is used to like heal, right? Like every single, is that what you're telling me?
Well, remember, here's the important thing. It is God and God alone who does the healing. Not all relics heal. So they're holy, Ari. and they can be occasions of grace. But depending on God's will, it all depends on God's will. Not all of them are guaranteed to heal. Remember that. Remember, another thing that's important is we have to distinguish, and this is why I've done this multiple times in the show, and I started the show by talking about relics as sacramentals. Relics are sacramentals. They are not sacraments. That's an important thing. That means that it's very possible that they have power through God to bring about healing, to bring about deliverance, but that's not always guaranteed. God does work through relics, but not because of them. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
Meaning that what I mean by that is, don't get confused. That means that God is the principal cause of all miracles. That is what I mean. The relic, so God is the principal cause. The relic would be the instrumental cause. That would be the material sign that you can physically see that the Lord God has chosen to use. Remember that.
Yes. Okay.
But here's the other thing. The result is not always guaranteed. Does it happen a lot of the times? Yes, it does, but it's always up to God. In God's providence, has he chosen to heal said person? Sometimes yes. Sometimes through God's will, the answer is no.
Okay. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Good, because God's providence decides when to heal.
Okay. Yeah. It's just, again, I mean, this whole relic stuff, like, again, it was just a little difficult for me to understand, just because I never really got the why specifically. Like, I see a lot of Catholics are like, oh my goodness, like I went to go see or touch the relic of this and that.
You're going to realize more and more when you hear stories of how people are healed. But I mean, let me tell you one thing, Ari. I have traveled around Europe to places where our Holy Mother Mary has appeared, to where people say miracles have occurred. And I am a very big skeptic, Ari. And I've been convinced at every place that I've been to. Let me tell you one thing. There is something with me that maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. I don't know. I'm the kind of person that I believe things, and I've come to believe the bodily resurrection, and I've come to believe in Christianity through a very deep historical research. Other people have faith, and they don't need that historical research. And that's better, I'd say, because as the Lord says, the faith of babes is better. It clearly is. Unfortunately, I don't have that kind of faith. My faith comes from deep research because I'm skeptical of a lot of stuff. I've become convinced of Catholicism and Christianity in general because of the bodily resurrection. But then when I hear about miracles, I'm very skeptical all the time. But it's very difficult to put aside that skepticism. It's very easy to put aside that skepticism, forgive me. When I've traveled to Europe and I was told, I'll give you one example. One place that I went to was Altottin in Germany. And maybe I have a fellow German in the audience that may know where that is. Altottin, Germany, one of the approved sites of Marian devotion in Europe, one of the few ones. I was told of this place and told of the great healing that has occurred here. And apparently people that get healed, many people go back and they leave their account of how they were healed. Many people that have been able to walk, or many people that had all these kind of maladies, they return and they leave behind an object that shows that they were healed. The amount of people that were healed there shocked my eyes, left me speechless every time I have visited that site. And not only there, many other places in Europe, to where it is undeniable that God has worked miracles through relics, through his holy ones. It is undeniable. As big a skeptic as anyone can be, when they visit these sites and they hear the testimonies, maybe you might say, oh, one or two people, maybe it's a coincidence. The amount of testimonies will blow you away.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, again, I'm not against it all. Like, I'm not against it at all. Like, it's just me genuinely.
It's new. It's new for you. It's okay. It's new for you.
Yeah, it is new for me, and that's why it's just like
That's
a lot of these, like, even for me, like, even with like just the saints in general, like, I'm just really starting to deep dive into it because
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong.
So that's why I've been reading up on certain saints and everything, which is really cool, by the way. But I'm starting to fall in love with the Saints, but like obviously with the relic stuff, that's always been kind of like, because I know that some people like to like exaggerate certain things, so I'm kind of the same way. Like I'm very skeptical, and I
That
need to
could be
look
the
deeper.
case. That could be the case, but think of the amount of testimonies we have. It truly is undeniable that something miraculous does occur in a lot of these cases.
So yeah, that's why I mean that's why I'm up here, and I
Sure,
had asked about it just because I didn't really get the hype for it, you know.
sure.
Um, but yeah, I think this conversation has been interesting, and
Good,
I
good,
mean I'll have to, knowing me because I'm me and you know this, I'm gonna have to look deeper into this.
good. Keep
And
diving in, keep digging in, and I promise to keep doing shows on the topic and going deeper and deeper.
okay, yeah,
Hey, Ari, God
definitely.
bless you, Ari. It's great talking to you.
Yeah, great talking to you, Baldy. Thank you.
Oh, be a hater. God bless you, Ari. Always a hater. Have to throw that jab in at the end, man. Have to throw that jab in. Where's our goated moderator, Shimoni? And I don't know, man. Rosarium, I don't think he showed up today. I don't know where he's out. Maybe he's at the buffet, man. What a hater. I want to give a shout out to the incredible Ralph Figueroa. Thank you for your amazing support, brother. Do we still have? Yes, we. Oh, did it erase? Did it erase, or do we still have the members that were gifted memberships? We do! Whimsical Skedaddler, Crazy in 20, Joseph Gonsalves, Sebas PC, and Michelle McCoy. God bless you. Ralph, my friend. There was a tour that I missed for St. Jude recently. I believe it's his arm. Yeah, that's from my friend, Father Carlos Martins. But I believe, I don't want to say anything. I hope that he will return to doing that eventually. I pray, hopefully, within the next few years. If you missed that, man, you missed a great tour. Father Carlos Martins definitely did it. If you missed it, you missed a great tour. God bless you, Ralph. How you doing tonight, my friend? On a side note, maybe this is already brought up in another stream, but our Lemon Prince that says Nicaea 2 teaches heresy. Do you know what he says, Rosarium? I'll reply to that guy. What is he claiming is heretical there? I am guessing the veneration of icons, images, relics. Well, what is he claiming is heretical there, man? I mean, no shocker there. He's probably going to be using fake quotes to try and debunk it. No shocker there, right? Abel, glad you're loving it, brother. I'm glad you like it, my friend. Dewey, Ignatius. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. Cathal, how you doing, brother? What's up, my friend?
Well, William, how's things, man? Can you hear me?
Hey, brother, I can hear you great, man. What time is it where you're at?
3:10 in the morning.
Oh, my goodness, man. You're up late, brother. You are amazing. What's up, my man?
Well, I'm usually up any of your shows. Like usually 4 o'clock in the morning. Usually I work late at night, so
Okay.
when I'm in work, I'll be listening to your shows and stuff like that. So I'm lucky at that.
Great to have you here, brother. Great to have you here, my friend.
Yeah, the show you did with the Stigmata was very good. I love that. Thanks very much, William, for that.
I'm glad
I got a load of new books because that show and a lot of new saints I looked into.
Good. That was a lot of fun. That was one of the most fun shows that I've ever done, man. Thank you for even recommending that, man.
I was surprised you did it and you said it was because of me. I said, "Oh, right, go ahead."
Yeah, you inspired me, man. You inspired me, man. And you know very well, anytime I do anything, I like going very, very deep. So I try to give it the very best in-depth look that I'd ever done. And you know, it was a lot of fun, man. I love doing it. You did freeze up there, brother. You still with us? Oh man, we lost Cathal Ryan. I think your internet froze up on us, brother. Can't bring myself to watch. Is it a short video? Then if anybody can get me the link, I will look at it. It was a short video. Cathal Ryan froze up, guys. We lost him. What a bit of a bummer. I was hoping to hear from him. We lost him. Rosarium, is it a short or is it a video on his channel? I'll look it up. I think we lost Cathal, man. Yeah, we did. Mick, I don't know why you're putting a dot back there. What is your question? Why are you putting dots backstage? I mean, usually if people want to come up, then the right-hand side, as Rosarium says, what is your faith? What is your question? Why are you putting dots? That doesn't tell me anything, man. I have no idea what you're trying to do. Cathal, you're back, brother. We lost you
sorry,
there for a
man.
moment. No
Oh, I
worries.
dropped
brother.
off. Sorry, William.
No,
Connection
no
must be
worries,
bad
brother.
out here.
No worries, brother.
But,
Glad to have you back.
No, you were talking about relics, but what was it saying? Oh yeah, a lot of other first class relics you've probably never thought of as well was like the the Veil of Veronica.
That's right, Veil of Veronica. You're right
The
about
Veil
that.
of Veronica. I actually got
Yeah.
for ages. I got a load of books on the Veil of Veronica. Did you ever hear this? The Golden Arrow.
Wow.
I don't know if you can see that. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I can see that. I've never heard of that book.
Yeah, the Golden Arrow. It was a devotion to the Veil of Veronica. Here's another one.
Wow.
But there was a thing. If you dive into it, one of the popes, he was excommunicated from Rome, and when he was excommunicated, he asked for all the relics from the church, from the Vatican, to be brought out, and one of them was the Veil of Veronica that came out. And a light shone from the veil of Jesus' face, and they actually, a load of scribes, they made that image from the Veil of Veronica.
Wow.
But there was a load of miracles that came off it and through the centuries over it. And actually, here's a new book that was done about it as well. This was done by this priest is still around. But he was the confessor of. He was the confessor. The person who wrote that book was the confessor of. Do you remember that black woman that her body was found incorrupt over in the United States a couple of years ago, a good few years ago? I think she might have been from around Florida or something.
Really?
But yeah, her body was dug up and she was found incorrupt. You'll find it if you look it up.
Huh.
A nun, black nun from America, incorrupt. If you look it up, you'll find her. But
I gotta look into that.
That was written by her. Yeah, that was book was written by her confessor, but she had a devotion to the face of Veronica, or the sacred face. But there's thousands of stories of miraculous healings off the face and stuff like that.
Wow, that's incredible.
But yeah, anyway, sorry.
I love that.
I have a lot of stories.
That, brother. Thank you for sharing that, brother. That's amazing. Oh,
yeah.
Frank is asking you, was it Sister Lancaster? Do you know?
I think I'm not too sure. I can't remember her name now.
Okay.
To be honest, it's been a while since I looked into this stuff. I have so many books and going through much stuff. Yeah, but yeah, it's very deep now and a lot of interesting stuff in it. The more you dive into it.
That's amazing. That's incredible, brother.
But Padre Pio, since you were talking about Padre Pio, I told you the other day, my grandmother was healed by Padre Pio's glove. When my mother was like 13 years old, my grandmother, she was having problems. Like, this is back in the early 70s.
Sure.
She was having kidney problems, and she had to go in for surgery. Like, they had to open her up and take out her kidney because she was having bowel problems. Like, they had to remove one of her kidneys. And when they opened her up, they found all her insides was all covered in cancer. Like, and it was very, very bad cancer. Like, and they said, "There's nothing we can do for you. You just go home and, prepare and die." Like,
yeah.
And in Ireland, we have one of Padre Pio's gloves. Well, we still have it, like. But the priests, they go around to the hospitals, the hospices sometimes, and they bless people with Padre Pio's relics, and they still do today. And actually, I have more stories actually about that as well.
Wow.
But they went in and they blessed my grandmother, and she got the smell of she went home and she got the smell of roses, and she was miraculously healed. She lived for like 25 years after the doctors gave her only a few months to live.
That's phenomenal, man. Wow.
Yeah. And she had like 19 children. As well. There's 19 in the
praise
family.
the Lord. Praise the Lord. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful woman. That's incredible, man. Wow, brother. That's amazing.
Yeah, I have loads of stories like that. And actually, I remember. I don't know if you remember. There a couple of months ago, I said to you that I was going actually to see first class relics of Padre Pio and Saint Faustina.
I remember.
It was close by me. I'll tell you a funny story. Like, did you ever see the devotional prayer to Padre Pio? That's a devotional prayer. If anyone looked it up, it's a very easy prayer, and it's actually everything in it is just biblical verses.
Wow, that's
biblical
incredible.
verses. So you can just, even if you're a Protestant, you can just take the biblical verses and pray the biblical verses, like.
Amazing.
But I used to have a problem with for lust. Ages ago, even every time I played the rosary, I'd come under attack.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, like when you anytime I could be fine, but if I prayed the rosary, you'd always come under attack when you're praying the rosary. But lust was a big thing. I used to come under it. Yeah.
We see that very often when people try to pray the rosary. A lot of spiritual attacks. The demons hate the rosary. I tell you that much. They hate the rosary, brother.
I was actually in confession today, and I was actually talking to my priest about it. And I said, "There's things in me, and it's a demonic attack." And I told him, like, maybe it could have been something I did in the past or something like that.
Yeah.
Something with maybe rocking, like Reiki. I remember I said to him, "God, a friend had Reiki, and I did it once." I was like, "Do you know what? That could have been a demonic thing that got in there, and I didn't even realize it." But things like that could happen, like, you know.
Of course.
But no I prayed that prayer to Padre Pio, and immediately it stopped, and it never came back and bothered me ever again. Saying the rosary, like.
The demons are driven, as we very clearly saw in the Bible, the demons are driven away by relics. They're driven away by holy ones. So that's incredible. That shows you how much power the rosary has. That's amazing, brother. That's incredible.
But after that, immediately I was given like 2 books, and I showed you before, like Luisa Picaretta's books. Right. Padre Pio writ to. I believe I was given these 2 books, these 2 people by Padre Pio, because Padre Pio knew Luisa Picaretta and had a great devotion to Luisa Picaretta and writ to her and stuff like that. But that day when I was going off to see those relics, I was reading 2 of her books. I was reading this one I showed you before, The Hours of the Passions, that she was doing it. Okay. Oh, sorry. The Hours of the Passions. Beautiful book, like. But I was at the end of it. And you know, I just read a chapter. I'd read a chapter every day or something at the time. And when I opened up the page, it was talking about the presentation. Our lady was talking in it about the presentation to Jesus in the temple. All right. And I read that, oh, very nice. And then I opened up my other book. I was finished that chapter. And this is like 36 messages by Luisa Picaretta from her Virgin Mary. All right. And I opened up that. And the Virgin Mary's messages teaching was of the exact same thing.
Wow.
And I was like, right, that's a bit weird. But my mom came into me, and my mom said, "Oh, do you know Padre Pio's relics were in like 20 minutes for me, and they're on in like a few hours." And I said, "Oh yeah, okay." And I left anyway, and I went. I didn't even know they were there, and I went into the church, and the reading of the day was of the presentation.
Wow.
Oh
my goodness.
And they were of the exact same things of 2 different books that I never read before on the new chapters. And the 2 books were of the exact same thing. And the priest's sermon was on the presentation. And the priest said, I was like, oh, that's really weird. And after the priest finished the sermon on it, he said, "No one's here by accident. You're all here for a particular reason, and you're called here." I was like, 100%. That's even weirder. He even said that at the time.
Yeah, the fact that he even brought that up, that's incredible.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, this is getting really freaky.
Amazing,
but
amazing.
The person who had the relics and that was blessing us, he goes around Ireland as well, and he said he gave a little talk as well about the relics of Padre Pio, and he said 2 weeks before like the sermon, the mass that we were there for, he said he went to a Limerick hospital here in Ireland into the child's ward, and there was a child dying in the hospital, and the child was literally on the deathbed, and he went in with the parents, and the doctor said the child only has maybe half an hour to live, maybe 20 minutes to live, and was struggling to breathe, a small child, and the parents were crying over him, and he put the relic of Padre Pio on the small child, and the child just started breathing normally, and the vital signs came back, and the child was completely healed after it. And the doctors were actually stunned. They couldn't believe it, because like the child should be dead, like, but the child just miraculously healed like that. Yeah.
Man, that's amazing. That shows me that really we need to really focus on the beautiful theological and spiritual aspects of relics. I mean, I don't think we focus on them enough. That's amazing, brother. That's incredible, man. Wow. And
I actually, when I was there, I actually got a pair of rosary beads that were blessed from San Giovanni from my mum, and I gave them to him. But my mum gave me these ones. These are rosary beads blessed from San Giovanni.
Wow.
But my mum gave me these. These were my dad's. Okay, and these rosary beads are maybe 20 to 30 years old, somewhere like that.
Sure.
But there's a smell off them. It's like, you know, the incense in the churches.
Of course.
When the priests are blessing certain things, and I love that smell. That really, really thick smell.
It, man. It's a phenomenal smell. I love it, man.
But that's off those rosary beads all the time, and it's like that all the time. It's like it'll fill the room. Like my hands will be like, if I hold the rosary beads in my hands will smell like it. The whole room would smell like it and stuff like that.
Wow,
and the same with my mom's rosary beads, like, and they're like over 30 years, and the smell hasn't diminished or gone away or anything like that.
Smell hasn't gone away at all.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
brother. Thank you for sharing that, brother.
Oh yeah, if anyone's looking actually to get a nice book actually on Padre Pio, I'd very recommend. You see this daily readings. You could even give it to your child. You could read it to your child. It's extremely simple, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's just daily readings, very, very simple, and he gives us scripture in it, and it's so powerful. Like I read it the whole time. It's fantastic.
Well, I tell you this, brother, I have a great love for Padre Pio ever since I did that series on the Stigmata. I have a great love for him. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, brother. Thank you so much, my friend.
One thing before I go there, actually, while you're talking about Padre Pio, I came across this person actually only maybe a week ago, or that. If you see that, Don Delino. I don't know if you ever heard of him, Father Don Delino. Okay,
I have not.
Yeah, he met Padre Pio, and Padre Pio called him a saint, and he said that all of heaven is contained inside you. And Don Delino wrote, his books are absolutely they're incredible, like. But Padre Pio said all his works are to be kept and preserved because they're so holy. Well, he wrote a 33 book commentary on the whole Bible, and I have actually a load of these books upstairs, and they're absolutely amazing.
Really?
Like, he was absolutely. If you read any of his stuff, he has even. I just actually finished his novena. His novena is very small, and his novena is absolutely incredible. Like it's massively deep.
Right here, 33 Bible commentary. Wow.
Yeah, if you any of his work at all, you can even a small bit of it, you can look into it. It'll blow you away. His stuff is incredible.
You've blown me away by that. I'm going to look into that tonight, brother. Thank you so much for sharing that, my
friend. Is there anything else? I don't know if there's anything else. I think it's something anyway. Again, I thought. Yeah, another quick one actually.
Sure, go for it, brother. Go for it.
A really quick one, and I'll leave you. Actually, I only found this out the other day as well. Luisa Picaretta, all right, that woman, the paint, she's from a place called Carat. It's actually just down from San Giovanni. But you wouldn't believe who the patron saint of Carat is.
Who's that?
Saint Cottle.
Really?
Did you ever hear of Saint Cottle?
I have. Yes, I have.
You have, yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, I
I
have,
never heard
yes.
of him in my life. He goes under a different name though. It's Catlodo or something like that, Cadlo or something like that. It's pronounced differently, spelled differently.
Are you talking about if you're talking about you're talking about Saint Carl, right? Of Austria or no?
No. He's of Italy.
Oh no,
He's
then I don't know who
Irish.
that is. Oh, I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
Then.
from the 600s.
Oh no, I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm thinking of Karl of Austria.
No,
I actually have a relic of Karl of Austria. No, that one I've never heard of him.
no, Cottle. He's Irish. He's
Oh, wow.
actually from my area. He's actually only maybe 20 minutes. He was born about maybe about 20 minutes for where I am. But if you put in Saint Cottle, you won't find a Saint Cottle.
Oh,
but you'll find no, he is Saint Cottle, but he changed his name. His name got changed in Italy because they couldn't pronounce Cottle.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's Cataldo if you put it in. But there's over like 115 churches in Italy. He's actually in Italy. He's more famous than what's his name? The other Irish saint. I'm trying to think of Saint Patrick. He's more. Right. He has more devotions, more churches than Saint Patrick.
That's something I never knew. That's incredible.
Yeah, I never heard of anyone that knew it as well. Yeah, very interesting stuff, brother.
Brother, thank you so much for sharing. Anyway, my friend.
No bother at all. I'll talk to you again.
God bless you, night, William. You be safe, brother. God bless you, my friend.
You too, lad.
Always great talking to Cathal. It is late at night for him, and he was able to share incredible stories with us. Guys, what a blessing. But you know what I love that I learned? Bible commentary from Don Delindo. I'm going to look into that tonight. You guys have been phenomenal. You guys have been incredible. Lino says, I vote to start calling Ryan Liminarius, the heretic who wrote the book of Lamentations. Liminarius. I like that, man. I like that. I think we've come up with the first really good name for Two Fake Quotes Ryan. Ralph, God bless you for your support, brother. Praying for you and Sam for the continued blessings of both of you all's ministries. Brother, thank you so much. And I want to say something as we wrap up our show. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. You all have inspired me. I heard incredibly beautiful testimonies tonight. And you all have inspired me to do many more shows on relics, to dive in deeper, to look deeper at all of the early evidence. You know what I want to do now? I don't only want to look at evidence from the early fathers that talk about relics. Now I want to look at the evidence of the early fathers on miracles in the early church, on actual miracles that have occurred. That is something else I want to look at. Ralph says, I hope to visit Padre Pio one day. In Puerto Rico, the one site I visited was Virgen del Pozo, a site in Puerto Rico of our Holy Mother. Ralph, you are phenomenal. You're amazing. We pray for you, brother. Pray for everyone this evening. You guys have been phenomenal. You guys have been amazing. We had a lot of people. I know I wasn't able to get to everyone, but great news. Tomorrow we're doing an Ask Me Anything, where you can come and you can ask me anything. Papacy, purgatory, prayer for the dead, veneration, Christology, Trinity, Mary, anything you have on your mind tomorrow for you all. We will cover anything. So Ralph, show up with anything you might have on your mind, any burning questions on your mind. Guys, you guys are amazing. And Rosarim, I'm going to look into that tonight. I am curious as to what he claimed was heretical. I got to look at that. I have. In fact, I have a copy signed by him because Father Calloway is my friend. And in fact, maybe I should go show you all. Should I? I'll show you tomorrow. I actually have a shirt of the Champions of the Rosary. I actually have a polo of Champions of the Rosary. Should I wear that tomorrow? Should I wear my polo of Champions of the Rosary tomorrow? I'll do it for you, Frank. I will wear my polo of Champions of the Rosary tomorrow. Father Calloway is my good friend. He is no longer in social media. So if you see any social media accounts of him, it's not him. He shut it down to get away from distractions. But I still have communication with him. He is a near and dear friend. I've had him on my show before. I have. Unfortunately, he has told me he's too busy until at the earliest next year. But I will work on bringing him back. I will. Guys, you guys are incredible. You guys are phenomenal. Frank, tomorrow I will wear my polo, Champions of the Rosary. You guys are amazing. You guys are great. We've had a great audience tonight, and I want to tell you guys thank you so much for your beyond phenomenal support and your prayers. And we will close it out with prayer, as we should always do to close out our sessions. Sometimes I forget. Forgive me, mea culpa. I should not be forgetting. I don't want to pray for all of you all. All of you all here. I want to pray for the brother Josh, Ari, Ralph, Lino, Abel, Rosarium, everyone here in the chat. And I'm looking at the chat. I'm tossing out names. Gary, glory to God. I want to pray for everyone. If you say, well, William, you forgot my name. No, I'm praying for everyone in chat. To the incredible Matt and Shannon, pray for their wonderful union. Pray the Lord bless them. We pray for Optimus. We pray for, even for Father Calloway. Please pray for Father Calloway. Pray for Dylan Millard, Arturo Gongora, Kristen Chittister, Aaron. I want to pray for all of you guys. All of you guys are amazing. Thank you. Pray for Franklin as well. You guys are amazing. And we want to pray in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women. Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now, at the hour of our death. Amen. The Father, Son, Holy Spirit. You guys are incredible, phenomenal. We will be back with an Ask Me Anything tomorrow. Thrilled and pumped to be back with all of you guys. I love you guys.